Let's talk decor ideas for your Wingfeather themed birthday party. Welcome to Celebration State, where we help Christian creatives to grow in their creativity and in their love for God as well. So the way I see it is, if you're trying to throw together a Wingfeather themed birthday party, there are two easy ideas. You could either go with a forested theme, sort of a Glipwood Forest or a Blackwood, or you could go with like a Dragon Day sort of festival theme. Now, let me know in the comments if you can think of other ideas, because I'm sure there are a few, but these are just the two that came to my mind readily, and I'm going to give you ideas for both. Now, if you were going with a Dragon Day festival theme, I saw this done extremely well here in Nashville when they had the world premiere of the animated series of Wingfeather. And how you would accomplish this is basically a marketplace with odds and ends that you might find at a thrift store. And you would maybe want to go with this idea if you had access to a lot of different kinds of fabric and, just sort of different textures and colors that would give it the impression of a festival that was put together that's a lot of fun, but still in this sort of poor town and still this ancient vibe. There's a lot of different signs that you could put together, just kind of either with fabric or different colored paper. There's a lot of different things that you could go with here. It sounded a little too complicated for me, so I went with what I thought was the easier option, which was the Glipwood Forest theme. And the reason that was so easy for me is because I live in Tennessee, where there's so many trees and just lush. There's ivy, and we had it in our backyard for that reason, because it was a fun forest theme setting. Now, if you don't have a lush background, you can actually make one, so don't worry. And here's a few ideas of things that I found on Amazon or Pinterest. And basically the concept is that if you use balloons to be your leaves and you tape them either up high or down low, depending on if you're trying to make bushes or things like that, you can use streamers, brown streamers or black streamers or white streamers, or even cut out pieces of paper to make your tree trunks. And you can even add little pieces of green paper to make it look more like leaves. There's a lot of options of things you can go with. You can use green streamer, that crepe paper, to look like vines and hang those from your ceiling. There's a lot of different ways that you can bring a forested theme into your home. You can also, I saw this fun moss that you can put on the table if you want to make it really look like a forest. You could also incorporate stumps, like tree stumps that are, varying sizes, either on your table or around your home, to make it look more like a forest. Now, once you have your forest in place, you're going to want to fill it with creatures from the Creaturepedia book. And the easiest method that I found for this is using the very large poster paper that you would see teachers use for their bulletin boards. And if I find a place where y'all can buy this, I'm going to put a link in the description. Hopefully I find it. If it's not there, you know why. It's because I didn't find it, because I don't want you to have to buy a big old ream of it. That'd be so much. But if you go to a craft store, specifically like a school supply store, then you probably will be able to just buy yards of this type of paper in different colors. Now, it does help if you're a creative to make this happen, to get these images of these animals on this paper, but you can accomplish this with a projector. Now, if you just tape the paper up onto a wall and you project the image, you can actually do this with your child, and you can draw out the image, and then you can use a marker or paint, if you want to be fancy, to outline your creatures. And then that will be such a fun way to bring Glipwood Forest to life. Now, the animals that we chose to do were the snick buzzard. We also chose the bumpy dig toad and the toothy cow. And then we wanted to do more, but all that we had time to do after that was the horned hound, which I hope I said that the right way, because I kept on switching those words before when we were planning for the party. But I will say I did modify the Creaturepedia design for the horned hound. And so if you want to just get a shot of what I did, just pause the video on that part and you can screenshot it if you want to use that yourself. But basically, the horned hound that they used in the animated series looked different from the one in the Creaturepedia. So I was just trying to make it look more of the same. And the same thing with the toothy cow. Those two they looked slightly different in the animated series. And so I modified them to look a little bit more similar so that it would make more sense. Because for the kids that are coming to the party that have read the Creaturepedia, they're more familiar with the animated series because that's just so visual, so burned into their minds than they are, even though they've read the Creaturepedia. The next thing I recommend with decor is signage that helps people's imaginations to fill in the blanks. My daughter made a sign that said, welcome to Glipwood Township, and we put that on our door. We made a sign over our giant tortoise's house that said Gargan Rockroach, because her shell's really hard. And we're like, yeah, that's kind of like a rockroach. But you could do that with your dog. If your dog has a dog house, you could put a sign over your dog's house, and that could be pretty fun. We also put signs in front of all the food that we made that could go with the theme of the book. And there's another video that I'm making that's going to tell you all about all the different things we did with food. So don't worry about that yet. And last but not least, maybe the most fun part of a Wingfeather birthday party is don't forget to dress up yourself for decor. That's really going to set the mood, and the theme of the party is if you dress up and you encourage your guests to dress up optionally. You don't want to force them into it necessarily, I guess. When we went to the animated series premiere in Nashville, my husband dressed up as a fang, and he had a big old lizard head and a big old tail. There's lots of fun ideas that you could use for this. I have a really simple idea that I'm going to link to right above my head right now of how we came up with a Lily costume for my daughter. But there are just so many other ways that you could dress up like the characters. And so I hope that this video has blessed you. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about decor and how I can help you. Please consider subscribing if you want to come on future creative adventures with us. And we're going to have more videos about the food and about the games that we made at this party. And I hope that it helps you. Thanks so much for watching. Be so blessed.